You were more than over halfway already here. Why would you decide to get up and go back to Jersey? What is good, y'all? Happy Monday, and welcome back to another recap with your girl Ash. Hello, what's going on? Welcome if you are new. I am your girl Ash, and welcome to Ashland. We're here in the land of Ash. We do everything from TV recaps to you getting into my lifestyle content, motherhood, lifestyle, fashion, beauty, all basically all whatever I like and love, that's what you're gonna get on this channel. So if you're interested in following my journey or getting into these recaps, definitely hit that subscribe button and bang that bell because you want to be notified when I drop all these weekly videos. So tonight on episode 20, Black Ink Milwaukee, and let's go. Let's go and get into it, okay? So go ahead, by all means, like the video, send me some comments. Don't be afraid. I like to talk, as you can see in these videos. So definitely drop me some comments below. Let me know what your thoughts on this episode, my recap of this episode, review, whatever, so that we can make sure that this gets out to anybody else who very well could be just as well interested in this type of content. So, getting into this good old recap because don't mind her. I about to say she's scheduled for a retwist, right? She's scheduled for a retwist with herself because ain't nobody clearly right now touching this head but me. But nonetheless, focusing. We focusing. We're right here. We here. We here. I ain't got off track yet. So, y'all know Caesar was not happy with Teddy last week. And he was like, if anything, you need to be focusing on getting Black Ink Milwaukee open. Forget this whole TV movie thing you got going on. I need you focused in. But nonetheless, we're here in Milwaukee. Now, of course, C's takes the bosses, but in addition, he takes Spider. So I guess just as if something comes up, somebody needs to do a tattoo. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if Spider really even knows like why he was even here for this episode, but none for this trip. But nonetheless, my boy Alex seems like he's a little back here salty because while he seems to be the narrator for the beginning of the episode, so basically, like he said, the bosses took Spider, they went to Milwaukee, and everybody else was left back in New York, which was a complete dud. Alex feels like everybody could have went to Milwaukee because the shop was straight dead. There was no business, nothing going on whatsoever. So much of the fact that they decide to play hooky. Go ahead and take a day, not do work. Let's have some fun. Let's go get a whole classic hooky going on because we're not missing nothing. Like, we're not in on all the fun. There's no work being here. We're not in on Black Ink Milwaukee. So what else is there to do? But at the same time, they leave the apprentices to run Black Ink, and all the OG classic OG Black Ink crew people. They get to go and basically end up going wine tasting. I think that, yeah, that was the idea, to go was to go wine tasting. And seems like another Tati coordinated event. Her and her stuff, that we know all that going on. Like, she needs a moment, so they literally have decided to go wine tasting. They book a what you call it, like a party bus or whatever or whatnot. Stay lit, like they ready. Now, why did Alex see this as an opportunity to invite Donna? And again, let me remind y'all, I'm Team Donna. Like, I don't even know if I'm Team Donna as much as I used to be. It's just to say that I love Donna. I like Donna, But I was like, when he was on the phone and he was like, "Oh, I have a surprise." He was telling the crew that he has a surprise. I was like, he's gonna bring Donna. He's gonna bring Donna. I know what this surprise is gonna be. Donna. The surprise is gonna be Donna. And my immediate thought was to Tati, because at the end of the day, like, we know that she smoothed things over with Bay, but we were never in tune to them smoothing things over, which they never did. Tati proved that when she says, basically, how dare Alex, make this move, surprise them with Donna, when technically the last time that they had words or seen each other, they were at odds. They were like at beef. Like, let's not forget last season or early part of season 9 where Donna was acting crazy, going in on Tati. Tati was kind of like mixed in. They were basically like in a throuple. And then basically it seemed like Donna felt like Tati was taking her management, her role as management, to overboard, I guess, so to speak. But it was kind of just like, no, Donna, separate business and pleasure. At the end of the day, I'm your boss, whether you like it or not. I'm your boss when we're at work, so let's act like it. This has got nothing to do with me, throwing you under the bus, treating you in this type of way. Mind you, that was when Donna was in her, "Oh, I don't want a tattoo, but I got, this going on, I got that going on," and she wanted to incorporate that in the shop. How? And at that point, it was honestly like, well, at this point, you're just trying to make it seems like you are trying to make it yourself just still remaining to be relevant with connection to this shop. Because if you're not doing anything, if you're not tattooing, it's kind of like, yeah, you don't have a choice but to separate yourself. So you, like, it's okay. But either way, because we're not gonna make this a whole thing about Donna. So, like I said, she comes and again ruffles my feathers, because I feel like you're the outsider now at this point. All these people still work for Caesar. All these people still work for Black Ink. You coming in talking, "Oh, I couldn't. Y'all still work for Toxic. Y'all, I can do that toxic environment. Caesar let y'all da da da." Like, just why? X minus all this other stuff. Enjoy the moment with them. Enjoy, getting reacquainted with them and everybody in the crew. Because, I mean, honestly, everybody, except for Tati, did feel like, oh, this is like old times. This is like, like whatever, whatever, whatever. Because mind you, Crystal and Rock, Mr. and Mrs. MIA, were there. But even still, it was like, I just didn't like it. Like, don't put everybody else in a like a low key compromise situation because you don't necessarily like or agree with the boss or with the job environment, whatever, whatever, whatever. Let's not even make it even about the job environment. Matter of fact, Alice should have gave her a full on disclosure, but it doesn't even matter. Alice can't handle. No, I don't want to say that. Let me fix that. Donna is going to. Donna can't be controlled. Okay, not to say that someone could be controlled, but just sometimes it's okay to have someone in your corner to be like, this ain't it. This ain't the time. This not the place. We not this not what this not what we're here for. We're here for this, da da da. But at the same time, that person has to be willing to want to hear that and really value the. It ain't about valuing the opinion, because they very well. It's really about yourself on the inside. It's really about you that can cause you to be like, yeah, as much as I want to, maybe I want to go to that petty, maybe I want to whatever, whatever. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. Like, it's not even worth for me to do. So it's like Loki, like almost like sometimes things cannot just go good because something is just bound to go bad. So basically, they get out, despite this, situation, what Donna, Tati is going to put on a face. She's going to put on a smile face, whatever, whatever, even though she's not happy about Donna and Alex springing Donna up on everybody. She's going to put on a face or whatever or whatnot. But clearly baby girl decided either not to eat, like whatever, whatever, whatever. Because next thing you know, Bay's like, hey, I need help. Y'all come help me. Mind you, Bay like Loki jinxed herself. Bay literally said, I hope this is not a what's the word that I'm basically looking for? Basically like a repeat of what happened last time, and Tati got super lit and couldn't handle herself. And I mean, the situation, it wasn't like that, but it was still kind of just like maybe Tati wasn't necessarily responsible, in this situation. Like, I get it, even if it was a long time of you eating, but just like she said, it might have been a circumstantial event, her not eating, she has a specific type of health issue. Just I think it was another factor or whatever that played into it that could have resulted in, her fainting or whatever or whatnot. But either way, it was like low key, like, a big thing, even when, you know, everybody came back, the team came back from Milwaukee, and, you know, just checking back, think that was, I guess the first time that they had seen her since, you know, they went wine tasting, before, the team came back from Milwaukee. They were just like, just checking in with her, like trying to make sure she was okay, how that had went, what happened for her to begin with, for her to fall out and faint to begin with, or whatever or whatnot. So obviously, that's like, okay, we out here playing hooky, and then something goes wrong. Somebody freaking faints. Like, I don't think that they had that on the books. I don't think that they had planned that or whatever or whatnot. But can I say that, to say the least, they did not, because I know I was low key picking, and I realized, like, they did not necessarily, it was basically like they did not let her get away with all her negative talk for the either the Caesar or the black ink or the combination. That, like even Bay was just like, let's be honest, Donna, like, you were the common denominator when it came to the toxicity at the shop and a lot of stuff going on at the shop. So I think when what makes you a real friend is when you can check your friend. Is when you can, yes, while you don't want to hurt your friend's feelings, sometimes it's necessary because you're not always going to be tiptoeing, and no, you're going to let your friend know what it is. You're not going to be no yes man. You're not going to be no, I'm going to tell my friend everything that she wants to hear. Like, no, none of that. So that was needed. I feel like that was definitely needed. So back in Milwaukee, right? First off, let's talk about how let's talk about Atlanta. So the manager of the shop in Atlanta reaches out to C's and basically tells C's that all in all, yeah, let's not even beating around the bush. Like, basically, because it was like nobody was there, and then it was like, okay, basically they found out where they were, but basically tattoo there was a tattoo convention going on in like Memphis or like something like that. Either way, a tattoo convention that C's had strictly put out that that Black Ink was not no longer going to be a part of because of how they were treated at these conventions. Now I don't know if that's conventions as a whole or this particular convention, but let's just talk about this particular convention. They were not allowed to go to. Black Ink was not going to be a part of it. So, boom. That being said, why is nobody in Black Ink Atlanta? Everybody is MIA. So basically, it sounds like after the manager does some little bit of research, probably starts searching it online, like, really with social media these days, it's kind of hard to track you, especially when I think actually people, one of the Atlanta folk was in, was a Phoenix? Either way, he was in the area vacationing or whatever, whatnot, as the same place as the convention. So either way, fast forward, C's mind is already halfway in, halfway out because he's worried about, like, where's all my people from the Atlanta shop? also over here, we're in Milwaukee, where he feels like there's nobody who looks like us, in this area. And Ted has convinced him to open this shop here in Milwaukee. And then as well, Ted's not ready for nobody to see the shop yet. They're not able to get in, like Ted's already like halfway in, halfway out, as far as like, well, not meeting the standards of Caesar basically right now, because Caesar got some high standards for Teddy right now. Like, so it was really, it was just like high pressure. If I was on that trip, I would definitely be feeling some pressure, because C's was putting it on. Like, for one, he made it very clear. Once he found out for sure that these cats were at that convention, like, I can't be mad at C's, because it was like for so long he was letting so much stuff just happen that could have very well been to the detriment of the shop. And now he's honestly just at the place where, nah, none of that. If basically, if you like, is he basically been like every other big company, big job out there? If you're main forefront, and you can't even be mad, because you can't be mad at this, because if you think about it, let's be honest, let you think about it, sit back and think about the priorities for your job. Is your job actually think about you and what you want, or is your job demanding and that you need to be here for this mission? That what's our mission, to be here to y'all get what I'm saying? Let's be clear. Don't be mad at C's, because at the end of the day, when I was working for Capital One wanted me to do things for Capital One. Capital One wanted me to show up in so many ways, because that was the best representation for Capital One. That had nothing to do with me. I'm here working for Capital One, so I gotta put my best foot forward for Capital One. You can't be mad at Caesar feeling like that everybody, and then I'm sitting there, I'm not even talking to myself, for even feeling like, okay, this should be your priority. This your job. This is your job. So at least when you show up here for your 9 to 5, now granted, his might not be 9 to 5, but it's just to say that if you did feel some type of way by how Caesar was carrying it, look back at your job and see how they're carrying it, and see if it's not to agree the same thing. You run the business. The man trying to make money. Trying to, I ain't even mad at him. I ain't even gonna get it all into what am I even about to get all up in depth to, because I know how I do. But I just wanted to use that as an example as it hit me, because I was like, dang, because if you see me last week, I was on the same thing. Like, come on, C's. How, like, come on, they got other stuff going on. But let's be honest. Your main job ain't thinking about the fact that you got a side hustle. Your main job, I think about the fact that you got a part time. Your main job, I think about the fact that you are an entrepreneur outside of them. Then I think about that. It's about the fact that this is your job. This is what you signed up for. This is what you signed in the offer letter, as far as like what you were gonna do, what you agreed to, whatever, how you want to put it, contract, offer letter, whatever. They expect you to show up. So just like Teddy's been on this line, he expects him to show up, regardless of him wanting to be an actor, regardless of him wanting to do the music. It's kind of like a point where if you don't want to do this anymore, you might as well quit. Because up until then, this is what I expect of you, and this is what you're going to do. So, I say all that to say, because I've definitely got off track, but getting back to, getting back to, you know, Teddy, C's and Justin and all them, and what's going on with Black Ink. Everybody at Black Ink Atlanta is definitely getting fired. It's just to say, there we go. That's what I'm basically just trying to say, that C's is not taking it anymore. If you are not in line, and then I mean, honestly, I think I'm with C's. They very well should have got fired. How do you go Because in the day, it's a franchise, right? I don't know how franchises work. I don't know how business work. But at the end of the day, she's a very clear the boss, and he made it very clear what his expectation was, and y'all take it up to go and do that. Like that's a bold. That's bold. So you make bold moves. You got to be able to accept those bold consequences. Then basically, I mean, what else can we say? So like I said, he's dealing with that. You know, Milwaukee does get its grand opening. That does open. Ted does try to, you know, show the guys, especially sees like that Milwaukee is not just, about clear skin. We're here. We are here. We are here. The black business owners here. Like we're here. They're here. So, um, as much as nervous as C's was, Teddy did the job. Teddy did what he was supposed to do, and that's that. So even when getting back to New York or whatever or whatnot, and even just telling the crew like, hey, they have to update the crew. Walt, not Walt. Puma, updates the crew on like what's going on with Atlanta and like cause yeah, I mean when you're kind of like part of like a little franchise. When you think about it, it's like McDonald's. And sometimes what would happen is when I worked at McDonald's, is it never individually happened to me, but sometimes yes, like sometimes they will move you from store to store if that was beneficial, if that's something that worked out for you, and it's something that as well clearly worked out for them, as a benefit. So again, I don't know nothing about business and business running, especially when no tattoo shop. But basically, yes. So basically, what ends up happening is you know, Puma's like, I don't even feel comfortable telling y'all. Like, I feel like I need to call the boss man, and he leaves it to C's to tell them, the updates, what happened at Black Ink. But C's confirming that he has fired everybody, and now he needs everybody to go ahead and get to Atlanta real quick. Pause. This wasn't like pre-COVID or mid into COVID where everybody's like, okay, I need my bag. I need my bag. Like I'm in. We're gonna go. We hype. Let's get to Atlanta. Tati's like, wait, what? I'm in the midst of my case. I should be hearing some information about my case. Now you want to go to Atlanta? Alex is like, bro, I'm over here already trying to balance my personal life, clearly with Donna, versus my business life here with Black Ink. How am I supposed to get equanimity into that? That's not the right word, but y'all know what I mean. Because now I'm like, I'm about to mess up all the, like, he's still trying to find his peace and his balance in that. And then Bay, of course, is like, wait, we gotta do this again. Like I literally have a whole child. Like my experience there the first time wasn't a great experience. Like if y'all remember, Bay was like low key getting harassed or whatever or whatnot. Like going to Atlanta is not a I'm on it. Spider's on it. Spider's on it. He's the only one on it. So even when they go, it almost seemed like nobody was showing up. Spider was the only tattoo artist, that was there. But nonetheless, Alex, does show up. But Rock and Crystal, Rock and Crystal gonna be fired. I don't see honestly, I'm gonna call it now. I don't see Rock and Crystal staying with the Black Ink franchise too long. So boom. Like I said, nobody was there but Spider as far as tattoo artist wise, right? But nonetheless, Alex does show up. Even though, of course, Donna was not happy about him, going on this, trip back to Atlanta, and of course, without her, and like, uh, but my boy goes. But let's talk about Rock and Crystal. Basically, Rock tells the crew. No. Rock tells Puma, right? Rock tells Puma that This where you messed up. This where, because this might have been like literally like low key legit, but for one, when you don't bring up no hospital, and then you talk about you in Virginia, I'm from Virginia. I'm not from up north, but I'm from Virginia, and all I can say is he was a lot closer to Atlanta than he was to Jersey. I don't even think that needed to be said. I think if you just happen to look on a map and you just look at it, but at the same time, because the map will have you thinking, but some states are more longer. Than South Carolina is that longer state where you going out of get from North Carolina, from Virginia to get into Georgia, your biggest your longest trip wise is just gonna be South Carolina for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they just say that South Carolina is just what makes the trip long, just whatever. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But just to say that you were more than over halfway already here. Why would you decide to get up and go back to Jersey? And then boom, y'all don't even talk about even going to a hospital. So I just realized I didn't even talk about it. So basically, they had brought the dog with them. And then because all of a sudden they're gonna ride because Crystal is afraid of planes. Well, mind you, she was on the PJ early in the season, but now she don't like to fly. Nonetheless, she don't like to fly, so they were gonna drive. But the dog basically reacts to the driving because it's never been on a road trip and bites her arm and then bites her stomach, and from that they decide to go back to Jersey. I don't know if they stopped to the hospital in the meantime. I don't know if they thought to think like, oh, maybe we might as well just go to, if you had already stopped, maybe, you know what, maybe it was so traumatic that they stopped at the hospital, and it was so traumatic they were just like, no, we have to go back to Jersey. We can't go to Atlanta at this point. That has to be it, right? Like, that has to be it. Either way, whether that's it or not, I'm telling y'all, these two, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's to come. I don't know what is the future for all of them. But yeah, but can we just say that as well to end this on a good note, that Tati, um, while possibly, sounds like, of course, she's being charged, she's not going to be serving jail time. Um, she possibly took some form of an agreement, and with that agreement, at least it will not result in her serving, jail time. So that, possibly, it's probably definitely going to be like on probation. So more than likely, um, that still can end up possibly prolonging, her business endeavors, wanting to own her own shop, whatever. At the same time, um, it doesn't put her in a four by four. I don't know if I just said that right, but y'all get what I'm saying. It doesn't seclude her. It doesn't take her away, literally away from opportunities that could have been, awarded or are coming, from her for her. So, I'm not mad. I'm not hating. I'm like, if anything, Tati is very well blessed. And I think in the moment, she very well, felt that, even like this could have very well went a totally, different way. But now this is where I am. This is what it's come to. And, it sounds like she's done. Like I said, it sounds like she's done with it all. So, let's just stay tuned for next week to see what's to come, because I thought it only could go up from here, but it's kind of just like, I don't know, Ashley, if you could bank on that. I don't know if you could bank on that. So, y'all, I definitely enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely, again, leave me some comments. Talk to me. Show me some love down in the comments below. And I will see you all next week. Okay? Peace.